So this is how I have my palettes stored in an Alex drawer, and it's the one that has the big drawer on the bottom. It's a little messy, it's hard to fit all of them in here nicely, but I did the best that I can. So the first palette on top is the Naked Ultimate Basics palette from Urban Decay. This just came out. It's all matte. I don't have any of the Naked Basics, so I'm really excited to have this one. The next palette is the Makeup Forever 15 Artist Shadow palette. Looks like this. You can see it's very well loved. This shade I use for my inner corner almost every single day. The next palette is the Metal Matte palette from Kat Von D. This also just came out. I haven't been able to play with it yet, but I'm very excited to. I've used this shade a couple times, but I think that's it. The next palettes are some Morphe palettes. This is 35p. It looks like this. I love purpley eyeshadows. I have green eyes and I think it looks really nice. These shadows are surprisingly very pigmented. You have to use a light hand. I was very surprised for the cost that the quality is so good. Now this is the 35T palette. It looks like this. I usually don't use a lot of neutrals, but these are good for transitions, and it's also a lot of purpley colors again. This one is the 35E palette. It looks like this. Just a nice array of colors. The next Morphe palette I have is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette. It looks like this. This is only, I believe, $14. It was definitely a good purchase. The next palette I see is a Coastal Scents Social Eyes palette. It looks like this. A lot of nice shimmers, dark colors. The next are the two Venus Lime Crime palettes. This is Venus 1, my favorite pinkies. And next is the Venus 2. I call like the other one like the girly palette, and this is like the boy palette. Next up is the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette. Looks like this. Next I have the Stardust palette by Vegas Nay and Too Faced. This has gotten a lot of love. This is one of my first higher end palettes. Next is the Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. This is what it looks like. Sorry if I'm blinding you. Now I have the Urban Decay Moondust palette. This got a lot of mixed reviews, but I really like it. The Urban Decay Electric palette. I thought it was really weird how some of these aren't eye safe, like what was the point of even making it? But I really like the colors. Next I have the Smashbox Double Exposure palette. It kind of reminds me of the Lorac Pro palette, the smaller ones. Then I just have this little Z palette full of Makeup Forever shadows. They're really expensive. I think they're $22 just for one, but they're definitely worth it. Next, I have the coveted Modern Renaissance palette. This has probably been like the most popular palette this year. Then I just got this in a BoxyCharm. It's the Buff Collection Pure Cosmetics. I think it's supposed to look like the Naked 3. I have the Naked 3 also, so it would be interesting to compare these. I haven't done that yet or seen any videos on it. Next is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This is the original one. I know they just re-released it, but I got this the first time around. It smells so good. It's worth buying it even just for the smell. Then I have the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. I don't have any of the chocolate bar palettes, just these two. This is what it looks like. This is a great lid shade if you wet it with a brush. Then I have my Urban Decay palettes. Here is the Naked Smoky. I like this, but I feel like it's a lot of dark shades, so it gets a little muddy and hard to use. You definitely need to use a different palette as well. Then I have the Naked One palette. Ooh. I guess I dug my nail in a couple of the shades. Next is the Naked 2. And then lastly, the Naked 3. This one is my favorite. I don't really use these as much as I would like to. I'm not really a big neutral user. I don't think it looks that good on me, but I should start using neutrals more. Then I just got this. This is the MAC. I think it's called the Sweet Cool Eye Compact Nutcracker Eyeshadow ×9. If you can see a theme of my palettes, I really like purpley and pink shades. Then I have this Makeup Revolution Iconic 3 palette. Again, it's supposed to look like the Naked palette. A lot of people rave about this one, but I don't think the pigmentation is that good actually. I don't know if I got a dud. This was definitely one of my first palettes. This is the Too Faced Cat Eyes palette. I don't think they even make this anymore. And it looks like I've never used it, but this was the only palette I used to have, so I definitely have gotten a lot of use out of it. Maybe this will be a palette that I pan, so let me know if you'd like to see that. Then I have this IBY Beauty that we got in a BoxyCharm. Again, I'm not really into neutral or gold shadows, but this is a really good palette and I'm glad we got it in the box. Next is this Archie's Girl MAC palette. This is the Spoiled Rich one. Of course, it's purples. I tried to depot it and I couldn't get it out, so this one's a little ruined. Next is the Smashbox Ablaze Eye Palette. I know a lot of people have been wanting this one. Sorry if you can hear my dog. She's kind of freaking out that I'm not letting her in the room. This is what it looks like. I was really surprised at how small these were when I got it. It didn't look that way in the picture or online, but it's still really good quality and I love the colors. Next, I have the Wet n Wild Petal Pusher palette. Again, I love pinks and purples, and this is really, really, really good quality. So if you're at the drugstore and thinking about getting one of these palettes, I definitely suggest it. Next I have the NYX Love in Paris palette. It looks like this. I think we might have gotten this in a BoxyCharm a long time ago as well. I'd like to pan that palette too. Let me know if you guys see any palettes that I should pan this year. Next I have one color of the Shade and Light Eye palette, the small one by Kat Von D. This is in Plum, of course. Then I have the Makeup Geek and Manny MUA palette. Kind of ignore these, and I love these two shades a lot. I haven't used this in a while. Basically since it came out I should start using it again. Then the next two palettes are from BoxyCharm. This is the Studio Makeup On The Go. This one is in Cool Down. Looks like this. Love this one. And then the next one is in Warm Up. That was funny, Cool Down and Warm Up. I didn't notice that. A lot of neutrals, which again I don't use, but these are great transition shades. Then I have two Z palettes. This one is the extra large one, I believe. It's just all neutrals. Makeup Geek, MAC, and NYX mostly. Next, these two used to be, I used to have these in two separate palettes, a blue, greenish demon, and a pink one, but I put it all together. Bothers me that it doesn't fit, but yeah, again, mostly MAC, NYX, and Makeup Geek. Then I have this MAC palette that's actually with Lorac shadows from last year's holiday collection. Next, I have two of the Urban Decay Vice palettes. This one is the Vice Limited Reloaded. I think this was for their 20th anniversary. I got this at Ulta and I love all these shades so much. Next, I have the Vice... It doesn't say what number. I think it's the third one. I have no idea. It looks like this. A lot of great shimmer colors in it. Then I have this Smashbox Art Love Color Masterclass palette. This is really big. It's annoying to store, and it's very heavy. It looks like this. It has basically every color you could ever imagine. Then I have two Violet Voss palettes. I have the Violet Voss and Laura Lee palette. Looks like this. I'm really glad I was able to get my hands on this one. Next, I have the Drenched Metal palette. We have a Ricky's NYC in New York City by me, and I got this there. Just a ton of shimmer colors to use base or outer V. Then one of my newest ones, I have the Alice Through the Looking Glass. I know a lot of people didn't like this palette because it wasn't that pigmented for some of the shades, but I kind of like that. And the last palette that my fiance got me last year was the Kat Von D Me Vida Loca palette. I think everyone knows about this. This is what it looks like. It is just so unique and the greatest palette ever made. So that's all my palettes. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see me pan anything. Have a great day.